Welcome back. Welcome back to the channel for episode 2 of the Love Yourself podcast. I am your host, Life, and I'm so excited to have you guys here as we continue this journey of self-love and growth, okay? Because that's what it's all about. In the first episode, we talked about how prioritizing your appearance is a major act. It's a huge part of self-love. And today, we are talking about something equally as important. We're talking about setting healthy boundaries, all right? Now, boundaries are the foundation. It really is the foundation of self-respect, self-care, and self-love, which can equate to inner peace, right? You've heard that saying, I want to protect my peace. That is me, all right? But let's be real. A lot of us really do suffer with setting boundaries and sticking to them with confidence. A lot of times we end up feeling guilty, right? We feel afraid of disappointing other people. I'm one of those. Or we're unsure how to enforce those boundaries without conflict with other people. And some people call that people pleasing. You know, there might be a little bit of people pleasing in that. But for the most part, we're just trying to avoid conflict because we're good people, right? So, but if you've ever felt stretched too thin, taken advantage of, or like you're constantly putting everyone else's needs above your own, then that might be where you need to check your boundaries. And we're talking about today, we're going to break it all down, what boundaries are, how they play a role in our everyday life, why they matter, and how we can start to set those boundaries with confidence. Now, trust me, I'm one that knows firsthand about having a lack of boundaries, and that's where this topic has come from, okay? My actual life and the journey that I'm on. Because there was a time in my life where I said yes to everything, helping friends and family out, saying yes to stay late at work, you know, really showing up for people when they couldn't or wouldn't show up for me. I thought that being available 24/7 for people was like me being a good person, but in reality it left me feeling drained, resentful, and disconnected from myself. Now, I appreciate all of you being here, and if you would like to share your story or where you can relate, go ahead and leave that down in the live chat, in the comments if you're watching on replay, or if you're listening or watching on Spotify, go ahead and leave your comments there as well. Because I'll tell you, I hit a breaking point. I had to realize that constantly overextending myself, that just wasn't an act of kindness. It was self-neglect. That's when I decided to start setting those boundaries for myself. And I hope that we really, as a family here, that we can start to set those boundaries with confidence and even enforce those boundaries when needed, okay? Because I had to start really saying no without guilt, all right? Carving out time for myself, protecting my energy from people who only took from me and didn't give back. You have to be more self-aware, you know, and I feel like I really was lacking that self-awareness then when I was going through those. And it wasn't easy at first, you know. There was some pushback and there was some pull back from me, you know, because I was used to really being there for other people. But I had to better control my own life. You know, they say that you can't give from a cup that is empty. And that's where I had to realize that boundaries really are a blessing and not a burden. So I want you guys to share down below if you can relate with that. I want to hear from you guys down in the comments as well, in the live chat. As well as in the live chat. Okay, now my goal for this episode is just to help us all realize and recognize where we need stronger boundaries, because we might have some boundaries set up, but there may be some areas in our life where we need stronger boundaries and we want to be able to set them and enforce them. So what exactly are personal boundaries? Boundaries are limits that we set for ourselves, okay? It's just a way for us to protect our emotional, physical, and mental well-being, all right? There's different types of boundaries we need. There's emotional boundaries where we're protecting our feelings and our energy. Physical boundaries, we definitely want to respect our own personal space and our comfort levels. Mental boundaries, where you're staying true to your thoughts, feelings, and ideas, and not just following behind the crowd, right? Time boundaries. Now, this is one that I suffer with. Overcommitting and saying yes when I really meant no. You know how many times I have said yes to even to going out with friends, knowing doggone well I didn't want to go anywhere. Or I would stay late at work, right? I would work so many hours just simply because I was asked to. And I didn't value the money. I just wanted to be there and be a support and be a helping hand when I knew that wasn't what I really wanted to do. I wanted to go home. Comment down below if you can relate with that. And then lastly, our energy boundaries. Learning when to say no to things that drain us, all right? And prioritizing rest and self-care. And that again can go back to those times where I'm saying yes to staying late at work. And that's just not something that I wanted to continue. Now, so if you're feeling drained, resentful, overwhelmed, again, it might be a sign that your boundaries need some work, okay? So I want to check in with the chat and see what you guys are saying. Welcome in. Hello, hello. I can relate to that, but it's a long story. More than I'm prepared to type in. I understand. I understand, Jay. Thank you, though. Building healthy relationships is here. My fam. Auntie Styles is here. Johnny Quest Gaming is in the building. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate everyone showing up and showing love. Oh, I gotta scroll way up. You guys are in here deep. Thank you so much. I appreciate y'all. Wellness with Frugal Mama is here. Thank you, sis. I'm going to highlight some of these questions. I just want to say hello. Mama Dreammaker is here. Hello. Thank you, guys. We just want to take a minute to recognize everybody and go through some of these comments. Girl, you ain't never lied. Boundaries are like seatbelts. If you don't buckle up, you're going to crash and burn. Got to protect your peace. That is the truth. That is what it is. And that is all we're talking about. It's just, looking out for number one, like my mom used to say. You got to look out for number one. There's no one looking out for you like you look out for yourself. So that's all it's about. Thank you so much for being here, you guys. And let's see. I got caught with that sort of thing, expecting that favor would be reciprocated, but half the time it didn't. And a lot of times when we do each other's favors, it's out of the kindness of our heart. It's because we care about that person. So we're not, and I'm sure, JM, I can speak for you when I say you aren't doing the favor just so they can do something back. You're not doing it because you want a favor back, but it's nice when that person can, or that they even thought they wanted to do something for you or to help you when you needed it, or you crossed their mind to check on them, or to check on you, or anything like that. Like, sometimes it's just good to know that that person cares enough to reciprocate that and just be there for you like you've been there for them. It's a mutual thing. So setting boundaries is one of the most powerful things we can do on our self-love journey. It reduces stress. Okay, and I can attest to that one, because after I started really setting those boundaries, I felt so lighter. I felt so much less stressed out. And it protects our mental health. And that's all we have is our physical, yes. But our mental health is going to help us keep the physical health on point as well. So it helps us to build healthier relationships by creating that mutual respect. And I want to talk about that because it doesn't matter your age. It doesn't matter the relationship. You deserve mutual respect. And that is just that. And so you deserve not to feel taken advantage of. And you deserve for people to be there for you and love on you as much as you love on them. And get your flowers from them and love them and smell them just like you're giving them flowers. So it really is important that you have that mutual respect. And that's something that setting those boundaries can do for you. It can really help people to respect you when they weren't choosing to before. It also allows us, having these boundaries allows us to prioritize our own needs without guilt. Okay, that was one thing that had me really struggling when I was being there for family, being there for friends, being there for my job, and just not being able to say no without feeling guilty about it. I couldn't even call off when I was sick without feeling guilty about it. And that's terrible, okay? When we set these boundaries, we're also teaching people how to treat us. And that was another thing that my mom always said. You teach people how to treat you. You teach people what you're going to put up with and what you're not going to put up with. How far you're going to be there for them and what you're not going to do. Okay? And it's okay to not want to do a certain thing. All right? And that's just real. So I want to make sure I'm keeping up with where I am on the comments, but we're going to talk about how to set and maintain healthy boundaries. All right? So get your comments ready. Let's go through and let's share some of these comments because you guys are really in here and I appreciate you sharing. Never consider boundaries as a form of self-love. Definitely not loving myself. Enlighten us. All right. That's what we are here to do. That's what we're doing. Definitely giving too much when I should have been less giving of my time and energy and emotions to others that stab me in the back. That's what Auntie Styles is saying. And I can completely agree. I've been the same way. Not listening to my first mind is a life lesson. Yes, a lot of times you get the inkling that you need to leave well enough alone. You need to leave that job. You need to leave that young lady. You need to leave that situation. You get that inkling because that is God. God is always talking to us. God is always guiding us. It's up to us to nurture that connection and actually listen to the nudges and the influence that we're getting because it's not by accident. So that's a big one when she says she didn't listen to her first mind. That is a true life lesson. I'm going to leave that up for a bit. Okay, because that's big. JM says, I like helping people out, but you need to know where to draw the line. And that's all we're talking about. We're talking about setting healthy boundaries so that you yourself can progress, so that you're not given from that half-filled cup. You have to actually set those boundaries so that you can love yourself. Okay, and then Babe says, exactly, it has to be equal balance between both parties when it comes to respect, because in order to get it, you have to give it. My man is speaking the truth, okay? And that's so real. Somebody saying hi to Ro. What's up, Ro? Thank you. I didn't see your comment, but thank you for being, oh, it's right there. Thank you for being here. I appreciate all of you. Now, how do we set and maintain healthy boundaries? Let's talk about that, okay? First of all, this is the key in almost everything, awareness, right? When we talk about awareness, we're talking about identifying certain things, certain aspects of our lives that could use some help. Being self-aware is so huge. That means being honest with yourself. And we have so many videos on the channel about self-awareness and just being honest with yourself, because you are the person that matters. You can lie to us if you want to, okay? And that means identifying where you need boundaries. Because like I mentioned before, sometimes we have boundaries in certain areas of our life, but we completely miss this other area. And I think a lot of us do that with work. Okay, we do that a lot with family members or friends. We might have it together at work, but we let our friends run all over us. All right, because we're scared to say this or that. We're scared to make them feel uncomfortable. But you have to pay attention in order to know which one of those areas where you need to set stronger boundaries or implement stronger boundaries. You need to pay attention to moments where you feel uncomfortable. Moments where you feel stressed, moments where you feel taken advantage of. And I know you don't want to make other people feel these ways, right? But what about you? What about how you feel? That's where it really comes to play. You paying attention to those moments where you are feeling stressed, overextended, overworked, unappreciated. Ooh, that's a big one. Unappreciated. Okay? And then communicate your boundaries clearly. Okay? This is huge because don't I was going to say a word I probably shouldn't say. Don't mess around with it though. Don't, state your boundaries clearly. Be direct about it. Don't try to sugarcoat it. Okay, I always say I'm not a baker. I'm not sugarcoating anything. That's just not how I do. And a lot of people who know me for this. And sometimes it could be a little too far. Sometimes I could be a little bit too honest. But be honest without feeling like you need to apologize. You're going to be direct. You're going to be respectful, right? Because I don't care if this person is older than you, or it's your manager at your job, or your coworker. You want to be respectful, but you definitely want to set these boundaries and set these limits directly, firmly, and without feeling guilty. You should feel confident, if anything. You should feel like you should be proud of yourself. Okay? And then practice saying no. I've had to tell this one person, this was years ago, but they would always ask me for money. Like I was Wells Fargo, okay? Like I was Mrs. Fargo herself. And I had just had to start saying no. And I didn't make up excuses as to why I was saying no. You don't have to explain or justify your decision. Just a no, I can't do that is enough. Or no, I don't feel up to it. I don't want to do that. Okay? So, and then you're gonna expect resistance, but you have to stay firm in your boundaries. This is definitely all about self-love. Telling people where your boundaries lie. All right? And firmly. Some people might not like your boundaries at first. And that doesn't mean you should back down. That means maybe even reevaluate your relationship with that person if they can't respect your boundaries. Because, yeah, you definitely deserve to set those boundaries and you deserve to have them be respected. And then take care of yourself. Setting these boundaries is an act of self-love, and it's okay to prioritize your well-being over people pleasing or over just misprioritizing your self-care. This is another thing we talked about in the first episode, where we talked about your appearance being, caring about your appearance is a huge act of self-love. And this setting those boundaries allows you time to care for your appearance. You're going to notice that these things all work together for your good. Okay, all the things that we're talking about, they work together for your good. So let's go over some sample phrases. I have some sample phrases for those of us who need it or want it to just to help you set some boundaries. Okay, so let's put some, and you guys also, as I'm doing this, I want you guys to put some examples in the chat, and then after we do this, we're gonna go over comments. All right, so one example phrase that you could use when someone asks you to do something or something that you don't want to do, I appreciate, or they want to give you advice when you maybe didn't even ask them, or maybe you just disagree with their advice. You can say, I appreciate your concern, but I need to make this decision for myself. Now, if someone can't respect that, I don't know what they are going to respect. That is a very respectable way to tell them, I don't want your advice, or I'm not going to take your advice. Maybe you want it. Maybe you're going to take it into consideration, but I'm going to make this decision for myself. That is powerful. Okay? Maybe they're asking you to do some things at work, or they're asking you to do too much, or asking you to do overtime. I can't take that on right now, but thank you for thinking of me. That's a great way to, maybe they're asking you to babysit. Maybe it's not anything as serious as like a work project. Maybe they're asking you to babysit their kid and you're just like, dude, my free time, I need to be free. I need to be resting. I can't take that on right now. But thank you for thinking of me, because someone asks you to babysit their child. That's kind of like a big deal, right? That's kind of a big deal. They trust you with their child, but you're like, I appreciate it, but I can't. I need some time for myself today, so I won't be able to make it. That is the phrase that I've needed for years. Because I almost never want to go out to what somebody done invited me to. But that is something I can say. I need some time for myself today. I'm not going to be able to make it. Boundaries don't make you selfish, all right? They make you self-aware. So let's go to the comments. If you guys haven't put any example phrases in the comments, whether you're listening on Spotify or you're watching on Spotify or you're here in the chat, please go ahead and leave some example phrases to where you can share with the rest of us some phrases that we can use. All right, welcome in everybody. And then babe just saying, anytime you hear those voices, that is God's, God's way of talking to you. So never ignore that. Absolutely. Who is that? The word is in the building. Thank you so much for coming through. Jess is here. Thank you so much, Jess. Yes. And this is true. We were just talking about this. What Slim is saying. If you don't care for yourself, you can never properly and truly and effectively care for others. It's just not possible. It's just not possible. You might be doing the motions, but that's why I added effectively, because you might be doing the motions of caring for someone else or trying to help someone else out, but you must care for yourself. So I don't really see any example phrases in there, but that's okay. If you guys think of some later, please feel free to come back to the chat and share those, because there are going to be more and more people watching on YouTube and on Spotify. So, and if you guys are not quite following the podcast on Spotify just yet, if you have Spotify, the link is in the community tab for you to click that and follow. All right. Now, if you want, I want you right now, if you want to, you can share some areas in your life where you could set stronger boundaries. Share that right now in the comments, and take a moment. If you don't do it now, that's okay, but take a moment to reflect about this, because this is a powerful part of our self-love journey. This is just one powerful piece, okay? Like I said, they all are working together for our good so that we can progress further on this self-love journey that we're in, okay? So I want to just talk briefly about why I even came up with this topic. Okay, for me personally, it was something that like I mentioned, I've struggled with setting boundaries when it came to work, when it came to helping family members and helping other people. I put so much of myself out and I never got it back in return. Almost never. Okay, I'm not going to say no one was ever there for me. That would be a bold-faced lie. And I'm not here to lie to y'all. But I felt more so that I was giving and never really receiving. And so that's why I wanted to make this one of the first episodes of the Love Yourself podcast, because I feel like there are so many of us that need to clear the bushes, okay, in a sense. We need to tear that forest down, clear the spider webs, whatever you want to call it, clean house, all right? Get those boundaries set up. Work on your self-awareness. If it's not there, if you can't list, maybe not here in the comments, but if you can't think for yourself to say, okay, I understand what she means, and I probably could set some boundaries here. I probably could implement some boundaries there. If you can't say that, you probably have boundaries that you're just not willing to see. So work on your self-awareness. Do some meditation. Get in touch with that inner voice. All right. I don't know if my phrase will be helpful for people. It matches my personality, but it's short and blunt. I'm straight. I think everybody understands exactly what you mean. Exactly. I'm straight. I'm good. I like it. That's not a priority for me like right now. I absolutely love that one. And I think I've probably used that a time or two because it's you're just saying everything you need to say. That's not a priority. It might be important, but it is not a priority for me right now. And I just absolutely love that. Oh, here's a good one. Let's stick to the plan we agreed on. Because a lot of times we do get people who want to change this and want to add that, right? To your plate. To your plate. And I appreciate everyone giving these examples because this is exactly what the type of community that I want to that we're building here. All right. All things key. Nicole is in the building. Thank you so much for coming through. Thank you so much. Here's another big one from JM. Another example phrase. I need to stick to my budget. Right? Because when you set a budget, if someone's trying to tweak a little money out of that budget, you might tell them like, hey, that's a great project. I would love to fund it, but I have a budget I'm sticking to. I have goals, right? I have things that I'm working towards and that I'm gonna go ahead and hold on to that money for. And if someone can't respect that, that's gonna be their issue. Okay. And also I wanna start a challenge for this week. All right. A week of say, and this might sound harsh, okay? I don't want y'all to take none of this the wrong way. But we're talking about boundaries. We're talking about loving ourselves, and that's the only reason we're setting the boundaries. These are healthy boundaries. These are not boundaries to push people away, okay? But I want to start this challenge. It'll be a week of saying no with confidence. Try it all this week, okay? Give yourself the permission to say no with confidence in areas that you want to say no in. We're not just saying no so we can be a part of the challenge. We're saying no because we have areas where we need to say no. We're overextending ourselves and we're just not doing that. Yes, we are. We are giving quotes, basically example phrases, so where if someone asks us to do something where we really don't feel like doing that, we're gonna say these things. So we're just sharing with each other what we might say. So yes, please chime in with yours, Nicole. All right, my golden rule started off as a boundary and it made it easier to set others. Accept me for who I am. I'm a unique individual, as we all are. And if my uniqueness is not accepted, I'm just not for you. Yep. And that's not an example phrase to run off and say, but that is a powerful model to live by. It's okay. It's okay. We don't have to be friends. My boundaries say maybe that you're not the type of friend that I choose. Like I was just talking to my babe earlier about this person that I have to work with in a sense. And I was just saying, I just don't care for this person, right? And that's me making that choice. Like, I just don't care for you. And that's okay. And it's okay if you don't care for me. That's life. All right. And this is another good one because this is a really, really good one. Really, really good one. I need a heads up next time. Because there are so many last minute Lucy's running around here trying to get you to do stuff for them or trying to get you to take part in XYZ, trying to get you to come to their kid's graduation or their kid's birthday party. You didn't know your kid was having a birthday party a month ago that you could have sent the invite to? I don't know about you guys, but I get last minute invites all the time, so this one is a big one for me. I need a heads up, right? Come on. So listen what Nicole's saying. I say no with ease. It's a lifestyle for me now. I even yell it when I'm in a good mood. Okay? She said I yell it when I'm in a good mood. Don't piss her off. You yelling no when you're in a good mood. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. Yes, just say no. Absolutely. So let's recap. This is a short episode, you guys. I really appreciate you guys coming through. I absolutely adore each and every one of you for coming through, okay? But I want you guys, the 15 of you, I want you guys to go to my community tab and grab that Spotify link because I'm really trying to grow that side of the platform. So, and if you're already on Spotify, hey, come on over to the YouTube channel and hang out with us where we record these live because you guys don't get the lives over there. All right. So I want to do a quick recap. Boundaries are essential. Okay, they are essential for self-love, and someone was saying that they had never really thought about boundaries as a way to express self-love, but it is one of the biggest things and one of the ultimate ways that we can really value ourselves and show ourselves love, because we're showing ourselves that our needs, the things we want, the things we prioritize, that matters. And when you put those things to the side, you really are pushing your inner self to the side, okay? And that's the opposite of what we want to do. We want to nurture the relationship with self, okay? And with the God within us. There are different type of boundaries. We got emotional, physical, mental, time, and energy. We're setting boundaries and we're improving our mental health. So just think of it as a way, not to where you're saying no to other people, but guess what? You're saying yes to yourself. And that is okay. Because like we mentioned at the top of the live, we feel guilty a lot of times when we're setting these boundaries. We're feeling upset with ourselves. We're feeling like there's going to be a conflict with the other person. We feel that way because a lot of times we don't even express these boundaries because we feel that way. We're afraid to upset someone or disappoint them. But this is going to be a way to really, really show yourself that you say yes to you. Okay? So think about that and really hone in on that part of it, and not just that you're saying no to other people, but you're saying yes to yourself. So we're talking about mental health, confidence, and having a mutual respect within our relationships. All right. So having the power to say no. Thank you, a resilient dad. Thank you so much. I appreciate you coming through with the dub. Motivation for the motivators. Thank you so much. Just having that power, giving yourself permission, because this is what I was saying earlier, giving yourself permission to say no and prioritize yourself without guilt. Yes, absolutely. A huge, huge point of self-love. So I want you guys to take away from this quick episode, and I want you guys really to spend some time either journaling if you journal, or just spend some time in meditation, or spend some quiet time to yourself and really ponder on this. Take a look at your life going forward this week, where we're saying no with love this week, okay? In the next episode, let's talk briefly about that, and then we'll go to the comments, kind of hang out a little bit. In the next episode, we are going to be talking about our inner conversations. And so be prepared for this episode, probably to be a little bit longer, like the last episode was, about maybe an hour, because that is, again, another way to absolutely show yourself self-love when we talk about inner conversations and why they matter, and what inner conversations are. And how to develop them into a positive, more nurturing way. So join me for the very next episode, whether you are on Spotify or you are on YouTube as well. Join me on February 27th, same time. We're going to be talking about inner conversations and how that plays a huge role in your self-love journey. All right. So let's go to the comments. I want to hang out here in the comments a little bit. We don't have to be done talking, but that is the live. So let me just go back a little bit. Let's see where we left off. This is where we left off. Okay. Let's see. Lack of planning on your part doesn't constitute an emergency on my part. I know that's right, JM. I know that's right. Lack of planning, because these people who try to come up with these last minute, to me, that's disrespectful. In a sense, if I get a last minute invite, and this has happened to me, this is why I'm bringing this up. If I get a last minute invitation to a graduation that you knew about all year long, then you probably didn't want me there. Or I wasn't top of mind. And that doesn't mean that I should sacrifice and make it and break my neck to go over there, or take off work, or whatever the case may be. Like, you have no idea what people have going on. So respect them by planning that out and giving them that heads up we were talking about earlier. Okay? Definitely, definitely, definitely. I'm probably the only 80s kid left that said no to drugs. Definitely saying no to people. Okay? Definitely. A resilient dad came through with a dub. Thank you so much again. I appreciate you coming through, and I appreciate you sharing your energy with us. Financial energy. Okay? We definitely appreciate that. It's such a blessing. You gotta set boundaries, because apparently audacity is free. So with those boundaries in place, the audacity gets shut down immediately. Okay, Key Nicole is not playing. All right, and I'm with you, because no, you have to be able to say no and feel confident and capable and strong in that. You should be proud of yourself if you are saying no when you mean no. All right, because nothing else makes sense. Nothing else makes sense if you are looking out for you. Nothing else makes sense. You have to say no when you mean no. Okay? And the word says, I'm working on not being as blunt in my real life. I am too. And I have. I can agree with that. I mean, I can relate to that. I'm working on not being as blunt in my real life online. I'm more thoughtful, if that's a good term. I believe it's because I take into consideration people don't know me. I think people don't know men. Yeah, they don't know him. So and that's real, because people can misinterpret. They can, think you actually meant it a little bit stronger than what you actually meant it. It's like, yeah, I meant to say no, but I wasn't trying to like hurt your feelings, or make you feel some type of way. So yeah, people definitely have to get to know your personality, but there's a way to say these things and do these things and protect your peace without being disrespectful, and to where it's obvious that you're just not being disrespectful. But if you're like me and you just kind of say what you feel and you mean what you say, then a lot of times that can be misinterpreted. I definitely can agree and have experienced that numerous amount of times in my lifetime. Because I just don't mind saying no, or I just don't mind, like, when it comes to people. I'll give an example. If someone says, I love trees, and I say, well, you shouldn't love trees because of XYZ. Or, some people get upset because you even halfway challenged what they thought they had going on. And it's like, I just don't mind sharing my opinions, I guess. And I know trees everyone loves trees, so I'm just giving an example. I love self time. I get annoyed when I have to be around people, talk to people, or just anything dealing with other people. Okay. Now tell us how you really feel, Nicole. Yeah. Hey, and if that's how it is, that's how it is. And that's where you protect your peace. You stay to yourself. You spend more time in meditation than you do out and about and at the picnics and at the get-togethers. If and that's okay too. Those are exactly the type of boundaries we're talking about when it comes to loving yourself and being self-aware. She knows she doesn't like people. She's not going to be at the family barbecue every time, right? She's going to show up when she feels confident, when she feels like she wants to be around people. It's on her terms, and that is perfectly fine. And JM says, yeah, it's easy for people to misunderstand communication via text compared to live conversation. It is, especially when you're dealing with texting or commenting, right? Basically what he said, text in general. It's easy to be misinterpreted because you can't hear the tone. You can't hear how they meant it or how the inflection of their voice. So yes, definitely. And it's easy to be misinterpreted with your speech. Because that's the type of way that I've been kind of misinterpreted too. I think it's much more respectful to say no than to do something begrudgingly because you think you should. If you're going to resent it. Now, we didn't even bring this up, but my girl Jess is in the building, okay? She is here, and she is contributing to the conversation. Because this is huge. This is huge. This is something that we probably can all relate to at some point where we said yes, and we regretted it. End up mad at yourself, okay? End up mad at yourself because you done said yes to something that you really meant no. And resilient dad, thank you so very much. Thank you again for another dub, another donation. I appreciate you so very much. And I agree with Jess. It is a lot more respectful to yourself and to that person, to yourself first, but to that person as well. When you just say, no, I don't want to be involved, or I can't make the time for that this week. Whatever it is, whatever you feel comfortable saying, but we're practicing that. We're practicing saying no this week, okay, without guilt. You're not alone. I seem to attract people who enjoy to annoy me. A mess. Let's see. I do take technology breaks. This is from Mama Dream Maker, where I don't touch my cell or the computer. It's amazing how much energy chats and apps take from your day. That's real. That is real. And speaking of that, where I'm giving my energy, it is. You got to set boundaries in those areas. You got to set boundaries where you're giving your energy, right? Because there's a lot of people in these chats. There's a lot of people sharing their opinions, boy. They love to share their opinion, and they love it. If you have a different opinion, they love to tell you why you're wrong, right? But you also have to realize that, set some boundaries on the things that you're consuming as well. And we have so many videos on the channel about that as well. You have to watch the things that you're consuming, all right, on this here internet, because that you need boundaries in those areas, okay? When we're talking about TV, radio, our phone in general, the internet in general, you have to set some boundaries there too. Not just the chats, but yeah, the things that you're watching. You consume with your eyes, you consume with your ears as well. Not just what you're eating. It's not just about food. So if you respect yourself and you love yourself, these are the types of boundaries. This right here, these are the types of boundaries that we must set in place. This is absolutely about love, self love, love and respect to everyone from a resilient dad. Thank you so much. And he says this conversation is spot on and timely, and that's exactly the types of conversations we want to continue to implement. So be here next episode, episode 3 of the Love Yourself podcast, where we talk about inner conversations, how we treat ourselves and how we talk to ourselves. Okay? And Nicole's still saying no, however you take it. Listen, that's it. Another example phrase. I hate this game. The actual comment was, I literally hate this game. Okay, that's what the comment was. All right, learn to multitask people responsibly. That's huge. That's a big one. You gotta, and throw yourself in there, right? You're throwing yourself in there. You're multitasking yourself. I just find assumptions are more frequent when it's not in person. I believe it's more lack of the tone. I usually look at word selection and sentence structure when it comes to text. Yes, you are smart to do so. You are smart to do so, because that does help. I remember, I forget who it was exactly, but it was like they left a comma out of the sentence and it changed the whole dynamics of the sentence. It made it a whole different thing. So you definitely want to consider those little context clues. Yes, plus typos can really skew an intended comment. That's real as well, because you think you're trying to figure out what they said and it's something opposite. We always pay it forward, just like you're doing now. Keep it up, Big Life. Thank you so much. Big Life energy. Come through. Come through. I'm going to accept that. I'm going to put that on a shirt. That's going in the merch catalog for sure. I've just been trying to look for context. It became innate to try to understand the intent and eliminate my emotions from others, from another's expression. That's huge. And that again is all this right here. This is all about self-awareness. This is all about being self-aware, because you realize that you are putting that emotion, you are putting your own emotion into something, into what they're saying or what they did or whatever the case may be. Especially we're talking about online right now, but this is real life, and most of us we're gonna get off of this screen and we're gonna go live an actual real life. And so that is mostly what I'm talking about when I say I want you guys to reflect. I want you to reflect and see if you're doing this right here, if you're looking for context, if you're listening to understand people. All right, we're talking about text on here when it comes to context, but I'm just telling you a way that you can apply this in your real life, because a lot of times people don't mean to harm you. It sometimes is our emotions that are getting in the way. And I have to say that I could use some work in that area as well. All right. Let's see what the word. I wanted that paycheck and worked with a bunch of unscrupulous people, but it had been fruitful. But it had been a fruitful ability in my journey. Thank you so much, babe. I appreciate you. We are nearing the end. I just want to go through these comments. Thank you guys. Hold on. Well, a boundary quote I always tell people is, you can't pour from an empty cup, so always put yourself first. Absolutely. Right on time with that. Absolutely. That's all we're talking about. We're not, like I said, it's not a focus on saying no to other people. It's about saying yes to you, to yourself. All right? That's what these boundaries are about. Can I press on your boundaries and request a weekly a weekly podcast on this specific topic. I can't take that on right now, but thank you so much for thinking of me. I cannot take that on right now. I cannot. And I've thought about making this weekly because there's so many things we would need to talk about and want to talk about. But at the moment, we can't. But I'm working to buy my time back. Okay? Maybe daily. Too far. Too far, JM. Maybe daily. I'm so done with y'all. But I am working to buy more of my time back. You guys know that. I am all about getting more and more days off of work, but in order to balance the things that I need to balance right now, we just can't do a weekly live. There will be more videos on the channel where we'll delve into some of these topics, and so look out for more videos. I know you guys haven't seen a whole lot from me video wise because it takes so much to edit, but there may be a time when I'm able to hire an editor soon, okay? And someone who can help me with my editing. So look out for more videos to start with, okay? That's not something we won't consider down the road, doing weekly, and maybe really stick to this topic, but you will see some videos popping out on this topic and all the others, okay? We will have videos coming out. All right, so it was so good to see everybody. I'm overwhelmed with gratitude that you guys are showing up and showing love the way that you have been. This is only episode 2, and I just feel so in my zone and so supported by you guys. And I'm really glad that I did this, that I started this podcast, and I'm really glad to be on this journey with you guys, okay, specifically. Daniela Joy is in the building, y'all. Thank you so much, sis. I appreciate you so much for coming through. Yes, Frugal Mama's still here. Everybody is still here. Thank you guys. Thank you. I am going to upload this episode onto Spotify. So I'm asking a favor of you guys I only have one follower over on Spotify. And I'm sure you guys can guess who that one follower is. But I want to invite you guys to join us over on Spotify, and let's bring the community over there. And if you're listening or watching on Spotify, come over here and join us for the live chats, okay? So thank you so much. Done. She's going to Spotify right now. Gary is in the building. Thank you so much for coming through, Gary. You guys will have to check out the replay. All right. You guys absolutely have to check out the replay if you've just walked in, because we are winding down. We're finishing it up. And I am so grateful that you slid through, but you are going to have to catch the replay, okay? But make sure you leave me a comment there. I am still working on my Fab 5 giveaway list, and all of your names are going on it. If you guys don't know, I'm just going to tell you briefly what the Fab 5 giveaway is, because a lot of you know what it is, but there are a few new faces here. So the Fab 5 giveaway is a giveaway structure that I created to be able to give away money to my community. So once this channel reaches $5,000 worth of revenue, which is so attainable and more, right? But for every $5,000 that we bring in revenue wise, we're going to be giving away $500 to you guys, to the community. So I'm building that list, and it is a continued list. That list has been building for probably 2 years now since I created this giveaway, and it is something that is an ongoing thing. So for the life of the channel, we are going to be giving away at least $500 a month, or for every month that the channel brings in $5,000. Okay, so that is a stretch goal. That is something that we're all working to and getting to as a family, and that's just my way to give back to the people who are getting me to where I'm going. Because you know, all these YouTubers and everything, like you can get to where you're going, but it's not about them. It's about me. This is what I'm choosing to do. Okay, so I was about to go into something that's not even what I want to talk about. So just followed and going to listen on Spotify. Thank you so much. So the episode 1 is up on Spotify. Um, this episode obviously won't be on there for until probably tomorrow. Thank you so much, JM. Thank you so much for the 5 piece. I appreciate you so much. You are amazing. I appreciate your support. And yes, big life energy. Oh my goodness. Tiff is in the building. What's good, Tiff? How are you, sis? Oh my goodness, you guys. Everyone is showing up and showing love. Ugh, I love it so much. I'm so grateful. But I want to respect your time, and I appreciate it. I really, really do. I'm grateful for those of you who were in the first live. We had to end it because we had technical difficulties, but we are here. We got it done, and it was really a lot of fun. Okay, I appreciate all the communication, the comments, you guys adding to the conversation. Nicole says it's the first time here. I enjoyed this. I love having conversations with real mature people, and that we are. Now, this is one thing before you guys head out. If you are interested in being a co-host for the Love Yourself podcast, I am looking for co-hosts. Okay, so email me at, let me put my email here in the chat real quick for y'all. Because I'd love to have you guys as hosts, co-hosts, to help me bring in these topics. What I am going to do is I plan on putting in the community tab the episodes that we're going to be doing, to where you guys can look, and I'll put the dates of them so that you can look on there and say, okay, I can definitely speak to inner conversations, or, you know, setting boundaries, and you want to come up, you'll have the date, you'll know what the time is. You can email me and say, hey, I want to be on episode 3. I want to be on episode 7. Okay, so that's how we'll work that. I'll expect that to be in the community tab tomorrow, because I do have the next few weeks planned. And so, you guys can definitely expect that and join in the conversation in that way, if you choose to, if you'd like to. How are you? I'm good. I'm so glad to hear that you're good. I'm doing really well. I can't complain about a thing. Life is so good, and I'm so grateful. Yes, everybody's good to meet everybody. You can. I would enjoy co-hosting. You can, if that's what you feel better doing. Absolutely. Oh, let me push that. Did I push that? There we go. There's my email address, though. If you guys want to email me, that's the way I would prefer that we schedule it, but no big deal. However you feel good, okay? Because I'm open. Thank you for being interested in being a co-host. And yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and end it. I feel full. My heart is full, and I'm so grateful. And I love you all for no reason at all. I'll see you on the next one.